Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to check in with Bulldog Cross Country. We're joined by head coach Jared Kelsh. And Coach, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
Kind of exciting for your team to open up the season this past weekend, and always nice to do so at home at the annual Ray Helsing Bulldog Invitational.
Yeah, we were really excited. Great weekend. Good opportunity to run what will eventually be the GLIAC Championship course in October, so give our kids some experience on that, but also having some colder temps really helped. Usually it's pretty humid and makes the course a little bit soggier and footing a little bit more difficult. So we were really happy with the conditions and how well our kids ran for their opening race of the season.
Maybe talk about the Ray Helsing Bulldog Invitational, the tradition behind this meet, the 49th annual event. Of course, he was the former head coach of the Bulldog Cross Country and Track and Field programs. Yeah,
it's always great to honor the guy who started the Bulldog Cross Country programs here. Very successful, fantastic coach, has quite the legacy. So when we have the opportunity to do that every year, it just kind of helps celebrate that. But also, again, it's fantastic to have a home meet where we get a little extra support, and our kids have the opportunity to run on a course that maybe they've been able to work on or have run a few years in a row. So.
As we go to the highlights, we'll start with the women's race, and obviously for your women's team, a number of individuals, I think between 12 and 15, the top runners were from Ferris State.
Yeah, we've really worked this summer and this fall this far on having our athletes run in groups and packs and be able to rotate and work through the course. So that showed a lot on Saturday, a lot of senior leadership with Hannah Brock and Daisy England, and Whitney Farrell ran very well too, as well as Jessie Durkee. I think all of them ran PRs for a 5K, so that's always great. The first meet out to already run a season best from your career. That was a fantastic showing for our group, and we had a lot of young athletes or athletes that were maybe injured last year that got an opportunity to get their feet wet as well for the first one of the season.
How important is it to have some of that veteran experience returning when you talk about some of those names at the top of the lineup that you just referenced?
Yeah, it's really big, just from the leadership standpoint, but just knowing that how hard those athletes work and how much better they've gotten throughout their career is huge, and just kind of helps us continue to push that bar up a little bit higher. We couldn't do it without their help, and so to be able to have them in the mix for their final year, it has been awesome.
Great to see the leaderboard with so many Ferris State names right at the front, and obviously as we move to the men's side, much the same. Had some runners that really put up some good times here in the first race of the season.
Yeah, the 8K is a little bit different, just from the standpoint of we have a very young team this year with a lot of incoming freshmen, so it's a big transition from the 5K to the 8K, and that was their first time racing that distance, so they did very well. But as far as the leadership, Cooper Sorson, Ryan Osaski, Noah Griffith, all guys that are juniors and seniors who've done this a few years, and really had a great summer of training. We're able to stay healthy, but really push each other throughout the second half of that race to make sure that the times were quick at the end.
How challenging you guys set up the course at Khaki Golf Course here for this first competition of the season?
It's always challenging, but we make it work, and again, just having that opportunity to be able to get out there a time or two prior to the GLIAC Championships is really big. The course has some nice rolling hills, so we get an opportunity to kind of see what we're going to deal with in October. And like I said, having it be chillier temps, it may be actually fairly similar to what we would get for weather in October. So that's really good. But we get that course set up, and it's, the staff does a great job of helping us set the course up, and we're excited to be here twice this year.
Of course, wrap up that first event of the season, and now you get a chance to go on the road this week. Maybe talk about the upcoming schedule and some of the key events here on the schedule for the season.
Yeah, so this weekend we're going to be at Michigan State. With the temps, I think they're going to move it a little earlier to try to get most of the races in the morning. But that's usually a very big all-division meet all the way across the board, as well as some high school races. So we'll get an opportunity to see some teams that maybe we wouldn't see. So excited for that, and just kind of get a different look at some different programs and how they run as a team. Other big meets that we're going to have this year are going to be the Louisville Classic and also the Lewis Crossover in early October. So that'll kind of be our final tune-ups and big meets heading into the GLIAC Championships that third week in October.
You mentioned the GLIAC Championships and being able to host that. How nice is that to be able to host it and do it here on your home course?
Oh, you can't beat it. That's the best we could hope for is being able to give seniors an opportunity to run a championship at home on a great course. We're really excited about it. We're in the rotation, once every 10 years or so. So it's always fun and a great experience, and love it when our kids can run at home for their final GLIAC championship and have that fan support and the university behind them. So.
Of course, the fall season just started, but I know some of these runners have really put in a lot of time over the summer. Maybe talk about the preparation they put in just to be at their best here this fall.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I know every sport does summer conditioning, but when you have athletes that are working 40 hours a week or doing an internship and have to get up at 6 a.m. to get a run in before it gets too hot, or have to run at 5 p.m. When it's 80 degrees and humid, that's a lot. And so they really hold themselves accountable and their teammates accountable. And when you're doing week in and week out of 60, 70 miles a week of runs and strides and drills and weight room, that can add up. So our biggest thing is just being consistent and trying to stay healthy. If we can get to the beginning of the year and the season, somewhere in that area where, like I said, everybody's healthy, that's really big and helps our program throughout the fall.
Speaking of being healthy, for some of those younger runners, how important is it to make sure their training is going according to plan with the longer season, maybe on the college level?
Yeah, it's very important. We make it a huge point to make sure we're not overdoing it on their schedules, making sure they're taking off days, but additionally, just making sure they're doing things right as far as nutrition, sleep, getting to the training room, icing, stretching, all the little things that week in and week out can add up and make sure you're staying healthy as you get into October and November and are running a different training schedule than you're used to as a high schooler and competing at a significantly higher level. So.
Of course, I know a lot of these kids involved in track as well, and I know the track team's already hard at work getting ready for the indoor season.
Yeah, we great group this year. We're going to have a pretty big team. I think 85 or so total between men and women. So, we're really excited with the direction of the program and how Coach Levine and Coach Jackson and Coach Kessler are keeping everybody rolling. For our track only kids and making sure that they're fit and ready, and when they have the opportunity to race, that they're putting their best foot forward.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the great start, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Best of luck this week.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
That'll do it for Ferris Sports Update. You can follow all the action online, ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Have a great week.